Hello everyone, my name is Influencer and welcome to a new episode of Monkey Island, and this time I'm going to build the final habitat, and that will be for both the ring-tailed lemurs and the red ruffed lemurs. This episode will be only the inside area of this habitat. This habitat will have an inside and a walk-through outside area, but it's quite a big build, so I decided to put it in two different videos. So this video will be only the inside area of the habitat. So I'm starting off with building a dome. This will end up as only half a dome because I'm going to split up the building, and one side will be for the ring-tailed lemurs and one side will be for the red ruffed lemurs. So that's also why I decided to create a tutorial video about how to build a dome in Planet Zoo, because in the first dome building you will see me struggling a little bit with the final result. I will be there in a few seconds. Yes, right now you can see that it doesn't fit perfectly. So I decided to experiment a bit with this. I didn't record that, of course, but you will see it a little bit later. I'm going to build the exact same dome again, and that will be spot on in one go. And that's also one thing I explained in my tutorial video. So if you didn't see that yet, or if you want to build a dome like this, make sure you check that video out as well. Right now I'm creating half of the dome, and then I'm going to build the inside wall. So this inside habitat will be basically, the dome will be for the animals and the middle part will be for the guests, where they can actually see the animals. So the inside area is more like a shelter, but I also want to make it a space for the monkeys to climb and to play, etc, etc. But the outside area will be also for the guests and for the animals. So I just wanted to create two different experiences with this habitat. So you can see right now I'm building that dome and it fits perfectly in one go. I'm attaching it to the building, making sure everything fits nicely, and then I will start on the rest of the building. You will see that I will change the front of the building a couple of times. I'm not sure yet if I'm really happy with how the front of this building looks. I'm happy with the dome parts, but I'm not sure if I'm really happy with the front yet. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments so I can use it in my next video, as I'm still able to update this one, since it will be only half of the build. I'm not sure if I will show it in the next video if I'm going to update this building, but I will definitely show the final result, of course, in the last video, so in part 2 of this build. And that's also one thing, I will only show some screenshots in the end, because the cinematics didn't really look good since it's only half a build, so that's why. Okay, so there is a lot of wood used in this building. I'm using the East Asia wood parts, which somehow fit in perfectly in this area, in this build. They aren't really completely symmetric, which sometimes is a pain when you're building, but it does look good. So I'm trying to put more effort in the details in this building, as you can see. So not only dropping down some walls, but actually creating some different layers in the building, as you can see. I'm deleting the entire front again and trying different stuff. You will see that the back side of the building looks a bit different than the front in the end. I decided to go for this layout because it somehow fits better with the dome part, and so the double wooden trims, stuff like that, it fits better than my previous design. So again, more wood, Yeah, as I told you, I'm using a lot of wood in this build, actually in this entire zoo, because it just fits. It looks better. It gives you the jungle feeling, and as you can see, it's not symmetrical. You will see me moving around a lot of these things because it doesn't fit. But in the end, everything looks good. So it is possible to work with these pieces, and I think that's what makes them fit in the zoo. That it's not completely symmetrical. I deleted the back part as well because I copied and pasted it, but I didn't want it to have the exact same layout. So I'm starting on the inside of the building. So the inside, in the middle, there will be some plants and a nice tree. So the people do have the feeling that they get into a rainforest building, because that's basically what this is. I'm using a little bit of different plants. I always use this tropical filter, but I didn't even know there was a palm tree. Not sure what the name is. But it fits into, I think, the desert area, so it didn't pop up in my filter. So I decided not to use that filter too often again. I do want to make it realistic, a little bit realistic in that way. So on the outside, I will use the most of the tropical buildings, but yeah, I'm going to experiment a little bit more with these plants. As I'm still getting to know the game, and I think that's one of the nice things about Monkey Island, that you can actually see me growing into this game, using different techniques, using different plants, basically buildings, stuff like that. So the building pieces, I mean, of course. So right now I'm finishing up the back part of the habitat and putting down the paths, so the guests can actually use this building, and I'm working on the backyard. This will be a quite simple building to place down in your own zoo. At the end, of course, it will be uploaded to the Steam workshop once I'm finished. But it's basically just putting down the paths using the grid system, so that is really simple. So placing down the walls, and this will lead to the outside area of the habitat. Again, I'm using the same stone and the same wood for this wall. Later on I will delete this part because I do want to line it up a little bit better with the building, so I will be using the grid of the middle piece of this building to make sure everything lines up perfectly. And yeah, you will probably see me doing that in a minute or so. But I wanted to create this backside area just so that people can basically choose, okay, which monkey do we want to see, and in the end they can just walk around both of the habitats. I already have it in my head on how I'm going to build this. So yeah, basically this will be more like a tropical backyard. Instead of using the curbs of the paths, I'm using some nice logs. As I told you, a little bit more detail in this build, and that's why I split it into two parts, because yeah, this took me just a little bit more time, and I don't like creating these 45-minute speed build videos. Somehow that's what I like to watch, like 15-20 minutes videos. So I'm trying to stick with that and make like maximum 30 minutes. When it comes to a speed build, of course, when you're creating a real-time video or like in a franchise series, I do understand that it will be a little bit longer, because in 30 minutes you can't really do that much. So right now I wanted to create a more like a terrace, so the people can actually sit down, have a drink, and watch over the ocean. And yeah, this ends up really looking good. Putting down some places to sit, some trash bins, trying to blend it in with some rocks, putting down all the plants and it really looks like a tropical backyard. It looks like it's supposed to be there. Putting down some education for the people. Again, trying not to just throw these TVs against the wall, but using some different pieces that I haven't seen being used for this, so that's why. As I told you, I'm going to replace this. I'm actually not sure yet if I really need those barriers. I don't think so. It just these walls are not climbable as far as I know, and also these wooden structures are not climbable. And then if they are, the game is lying to me, because I actually checked the labels that they get and didn't say climbable. So that's also one reason I use this, because I don't want the monkeys to be able to climb basically anywhere that I don't want them to climb. So that's why. Putting down some shops in the inside part. So because I created that terrace, I wanted the people to be able to get some drink and to get some food. And I'm putting down some pizza places, and to get some soda for the people. I do need to build a little bit more of these areas for the guests. I will probably do that during or a live stream or a final episode of Monkey Island. I'm calling it a final episode, but it won't really be a final episode, of course, because I really expect to get more monkeys later on in this game, so it won't really be a final episode. But I already arranged something for like a tour when this part is finished. I did talk about this with someone. I'm not going to completely explain it, but so I still need to see if it will really happen, but it would be really cool. So make sure you check that one out as well. Once it comes up, it will probably take another it will be 3-4 weeks until that final zoo tour will happen. So I decided to put some exhibit animals in here as well. Somehow the entrance looked empty, so when you come in, there was just a lot of stone and some wood. So I did want people to show something to the people that come into this building. So that's why I decided to create these two exhibit areas. They both will contain some snakes, which basically live in the tropical areas. So I think I went for the boa constrictor and some yellowish snake. I'm not sure what, the yellow anaconda or something, because I did put some other animal in there, and then the exhibit changed to something like more like a desert feeling, and that didn't fit in, so I decided to go for these two animals. So right now I'm placing some lamps in this building, because that's one of the details I need to work on, more like the lighting inside this building. So I'm creating these wooden beams, putting down some lamps in it. Did experiment quite a bit with these lamps. I ended up with these Indian themed lamps. Copy it to the other side, and then I decided no, that's way too much, so I'm deleting half of the lamps and then deleting the other part, copying it back to the other side, and that just looks way better than a double of the amount of the lamps. Creating some inside plants, and finally I'm really happy with how the inside is starting to look of this building. So one reason I didn't put the roof in yet, because that works a little bit better with the camera. If you don't completely finish up that roof when you're working on the inside, the camera doesn't go outside of the building and you can't get in anymore. So that's one of the reasons I decided to make sure the roof is still open while I'm working on that one. So trying to make it a little bit more natural at this point. It's not really realistic if these lianes, I'm not sure what they're called, are completely in the same position all over the building. we are almost reaching the end of the video, and I really hope that you and guys enjoyed this one. If you want to keep updated on the Monkey Island series and you want to be the first to check out part 2 of this habitat, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now if you didn't do that already. If you have any suggestions about this build, make sure you leave a comment. But you can also join my Discord server. I will put a link in the description so you can directly talk to me about this build, about anything. So make sure you do that as well. And in the end, I will show you some screenshots of this beautiful building, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye bye.